Good evening and salutations, my J trans. You know, I was on GHNV stream or Dion stream yesterday actually. I was, just in the audience and everything. And he was sitting there talking about Drew and stuff. And, I made a couple of comments or whatever, and I was like, I think that Drew's a good man. And, I was like, out of a lot of different reviewers, and there are a lot of them, but specifically the ones talking about General Hospital, I've pretty much been the only person that has defended Drew, right? And a little comment or whatever, who's going back and forth, just kind of joking around or whatever. And it made me think while I was watching it today, specifically when he was on the phone trying to contact Monica. Now Monica has a problem with him. Now Monica, at first, he was into thinking that Tracy just banned him from the house, and it's like that's ridiculous because you don't own this shit. So, I thought it was just kind of laughable that she was meant to trying to ban people from a house that she don't own. But apparently, you got word from Yuri that she banned him from the house, and that I had issues with that. Right, I had some serious issues with that, and I know that when he was meant to talking to Martin, he was like, listen, I get it in a way. Michael is her favorite and everything like that. But when you stop and sit there and think about that, that was just it irked me, right? Jason is literally a hitman, right? AJ has had more chances than you can possibly count. And yet Drew gets banned from the house. Like, on top of the fact that Monica should have a little bit more grace, seeing how she cheated on Alan years ago. And I know it was years ago, but the point is, she still did it. But it made me sit there and think about Drew being public enemy number one. And, in the show, how the fans see him, which is, he seemed like he's been the most hated out of any character that I've seen so far. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there saying, like, he didn't do anything to deserve this level of hate, but I mean, it made me think about how did we get to this point? How did we get to this point with Drew? A couple of years ago, I would sit there and make these titles. And I remember one title I made was, Is Drew Still Needed on the Show? And this was back when, Cam Madison took over and everyone said that the character was boring. The character was boring, there's no point in being on the show, he's super boring. And it's like the writers decided, okay, then we'll just make you hate him, right? And all reality, I don't even think he's done like the worst thing in a soap opera. Like, I guess it's amazing to me that people have more respect for Franco. Given what Franco did to Michael, people have more respect for Franco than they did Drew. People have more respect for Luke, given what Luke did to Laura, and people sit there and say, "Well, the greatest love story ever." Really? You have more respect for Todd Manning. Todd fucking Manning than they do Drew. And if you compare what Todd Manning, what uh, Franco did compared to what Drew did, are you really going to sit there and tell me that Drew did the worst thing possible in General Hospital compared to what Luke did and what Franco did? And we all know what I'm talking about. So it's like somewhere along the lines, it's like I know that they want to build the character up, and I don't know if this was the best way to go about it, but I also do feel like compared to other people that have done some stuff, it's laughable that people hate him this much, but people can sit there and praise Luke. He's done something that we can all agree is way worse than what Drew did. Anyway, after that, he talks to Marty. He's talking about the whole Monica thing, the cheating thing, and everything like that. And he wants to sit there and have a realtor, right? So Lucy, um, it's not the same way you're looking for. Long story short, he's looking for a place that could pretty much hold not just Scout but also Willow. Now Lucy was, she was not there drinking or whatever. Marty came over, he ordered his drink, and Lucy was like, "Oh, you want to join me?" He was like, "No, no." And he just pretty much just walked off, and she got all upset. And I'm just like, in what universe do you honestly think that you gonna sit there and just cheat on this man and just expect him to just waltz right back on that? Like, I know that Lucy is supposed to be a ditz, but like, seriously? Why do I have a feeling they're gonna put those two back together at some point, and I'm just gonna be like, good. That's great. This chick cheated on you, and you gonna sit there and just take her right back on. That's awesome. Um, what do I have? Oh, Christina. So Christina comes by Sunny's place, and she wants to know what's going on. Like, I haven't seen you last night. What's going on? So they catch up, and he lies to her, isn't just saying it was business. They get to talking about Ava, and for some odd reason, this chick actually says that I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that Ava does not get custody because. And hold on, let me get to my notes. Oh, that's what she says. To keep Avery safe, to keep Avery safe from Ava, um, or something along the lines. Some, oh, to keep Avery safe, we got to keep her away from Ava. Michael was standing. Michael was with Sonny when that place exploded. But for some odd reason, he said to keep Avery safe, we got to keep her away from Avery. I'm like, what? And this makes sense to this chick. I get it. She doesn't like Ava. What wound up happening was an accident, but it still happened. But you can't be this stupid at this point. Like, I'm sorry, but like, just being near him has caused so much pain for Michael. And again, this isn't the first time that wound up happening. Anyway, Natalia had to finish talking to Lucy about going to LA and, just kind of keeping her from going. She comes upstairs and Christina starts asking like 1,000 questions. Oh, why do you have a key to my dad's house? And what are you doing here? And I'm like, um, Ruffalo's business. Like, why does that matter to you? But they talk about they're going to LA. Eventually she leaves. And, she says she has a good cover story and she really wants to sit down and help him out at everything that he's done for her and, for the way that she treated Christina. Which at this point, I don't think that she needs to sit there and keep trying to make up what she did to Christina. Like, I get the stuff she said, the way she came at her was bad, but they apologized, they made up for it. She lied on the stand for her. I think you've done more than enough to sit there and make up for the way that you treated her. Um, Now Liz and Lucky are going to Turning Woods to talk to some nurse that Liz knew to try to get a list of patients of all the people that Cyrus have saw. But when they get there, that nurse called out. So now they're talking to this new nurse. Now they got to sit there and try to get the list or whatever from her. Um, Liz, she's a nurse, so she can kind of talk to her a little bit more, and I guess kind of make it a little more easier. And basically, like, she just wants to sit there and have a list of the people that pretty much died. And at first she's like kind of uneasy about it, but Liz is like, hey, listen, if you got to go through administration or whatever, you know how much of a hassle that can be. So just as she's printing it out and everything like that, I guess the main manager or whatever comes in and is like, well, what are you doing here? And they see it's Lucky and everything, and they go back and forth. And at this point, I'm just like, why are you having this much of an attitude? Like, bro, his sister walked out and left under your watch, under your care. On top of the fact that Cyrus is there giving all these orders to where his sister was supposed to go without his mother's permission, which is the mayor, by the way. So part of me was like he had this attitude, like, well, what are you doing back here? And I get it. Lucky came there, he was mad, he was angry and stuff like that, yelling and just talking in a tone that was not like, but given the fact that his sister was just God knows where and left on their watch, you would sit there and think that he would be like, you know what? Maybe I don't want a lawsuit, and his mom is the mayor. Maybe I'll just kind of chill out. But instead, he just keeps going and going and going. And Liz eventually gets the print down. The guy's like, "I'm gonna call security." I'm just like, I don't like. I can't be the only person that sat there and looked at that. Like, I'm not saying that dude need to kiss his ass or anything like that, but I mean, like, like, come on, bro. Um, Laura is worried that Lucky is gonna go after Sitwell because he's more like his father now. Even though Lulu is like he's never really been that type of person. He's always been the rescue guy, not the revenge guy. But of course, we got to retcon everything, so now he's the revenge guy too because he's just like his daddy, his pappy, whatever you want to call him. Luke, the scumbag who did X, Y, and Z, and yet somehow Drew is just like the worst thing on the planet. Speaking of that, let's sit there and talk about Curtis and Nina. Nina comes over, she does her usual whining about Drew and everything, and Curtis talks about Drew as well. Now Curtis pretty much tells Nina, "Hey, listen, why don't you tell Willow?" Because he doesn't sit there and say you should tell Willow to break them up or anything like that. He's like, you should do it before um it comes out. And of course, Nina being chicken shit as she is not going to sit there and say anything. But Curtis is upset that Drew is will undermine the company, which I understand that to an extent. I get that, but I'm like, bro, you did sit there and have a hand in taking away his company. You don't get to sit there and play victim at this point now. Let's just be real. And while what Drew did was kind of scumbagish, you know. Now your boy, you could have been honest. You didn't. So I get that level of anger, but to do all that for a title that, let's be honest, you weren't qualified for. You're doing too much, and now you're sitting there trying to act like you're the victim. Oh, he's going to sit there and undermine the company. No, I mean the company that you helped steal. Oh, okay. Oh, that company. Okay, cool. Now he's like, I will, undermine his influence. And Nina, she knows some people, whatever. So that's what they're going to sit there and do. Which again, like I said before, we're getting the Julian treatment. Or he's getting the Julian treatment. Um, the stuff with Willow and Chase wasn't really that great. He just wanted to sit there and kind of remind her that, hey, listen, you got an ally in this house. Because Willow is already sitting there seeing that coming back is already a mistake. Tracy's coming over and she's doing way too much. Um, so he just sits there and says she's a good person. Now, good person is very questionable. Good mother she is. Good wife she's not. Good person, well, good people can do bad things sometimes, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, just means that they do bad things at times. Um, Anna and Jason. Anna calls over Jason to talk about Sitwell and talk about we can't really do anything. But maybe if you and Sasha go on record, we might have something. Who knows? Which is kind of weird that Sasha never actually bothered to report that to the police. Like, not once. I don't really understand that. Um, Also wants to make sure that he doesn't go after Stillwell, you know? And, Jason is like, yo, listen, Michael's like a son of me. I'm not just gonna sit back and not do anything. And it's like I need you to sit there and trust me. Because if you go after him, he goes after you, who's to sit there and say that somebody else doesn't get caught in crossfire? Let me sit there and at least try to do my job first. Um, I feel like there's so much more. Well, like usual, because I feel like I'm writing a goddamn book. Um, Anyway, they're able to get the list, and yeah, now they're one step closer to something. I have no idea. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else. Not if I missed anything. I'm not gonna be streaming tonight. I'm trying to make Mondays my rest day, so I'm not gonna be streaming tonight. But I will be streaming tomorrow, usual time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and talk about what sucks. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.